Hello everyone and welcome to the stream. I'm Vikova, you can call me V, and today we're playing more Tangle Tower, which I'm really excited to return to. I feel like this is a really fun puzzle game. Hello and welcome to Des and Esp and Moopet! It is lovely to have you here today. So, the situation is... a woman has been murdered upstairs in one of the towers. It seems like she was stabbed by the painting, but we don't think that's the case. Literally everyone here is a suspect. And it's complicated to get the information out of them. So what we're going to be doing today is going around and asking everyone about every object and clue we found to try and see if we can get some more information, because that was a mechanic I didn't realize was kind of available originally. This is very loud again, isn't it?
The ground's moist.
No. Stop that. Yes, it turned everything up again. Okay, I don't know why it does that. There we go. Can I get an overview of all of their names? They're so confusing. Yes, they are. Flora Fellow. There's two families in each tower. The Fellows and the Pointers, I think. We have Flora Fellows, who does not speak. Felix Fellows, who seems to fancy himself kind of an adventuresome type. Rowan, hello and welcome. Fifi Fellows, who loves science. Hawkshaw, who is neither a Pointer nor a Fellow, but is a detective who was here for an unrelated reason at the time of the murder. Freya Fellows, who was murdered and was an artist. Fitz Fellows, who is a gardener and who is engaged to Penny Pointer, but possibly has something going on with Poppy Pointer. This is Professor Pointer, the dad, who was seemingly spying into the tower, maybe at Flora, and maybe did see what happened. We don't know. Penny Pointer, who is very lonely and really has birds for company. Is that everyone? I think that's everyone. So, let's see what we can do with talking to all of these. We've been seeing lots of PP, hearts, FF around. But since that could refer to any person from this side of the tower and any person from this side of the tower, it's difficult. So I need to start talking to people and asking them everything. I've spoken to him and talked to him about everything. Let's ask Fifi about everything. This is I have my eye on Poppy. I don't remember why. Okay, so Poppy... we know that she has, like, kind of a secret relationship slash friendship slash something going on with Fitzfellow. And yeah, she had some involvement there. Yeah, I don't remember either. We're gonna go through and talk to everyone though. Okay. Let's ask you about all these objects first.
What is your opinion of Tangle Tower?
Oh, it's impressive. Elaborate gardens, unique architecture.
You meant Penny.
Worth a fortune.
I'm not suspicious of
Why
Penny.
do you ask, Fifi?
I am the heir of the
We know
Fellow
she was upset
family
about
and
something.
the Remington family.
Oh, Penny has a letter in her room that says, like, she will pay or something. So that could be why. Yeah.
This makes me the sole beneficiary of Tangle Tower.
That's quite an inheritance.
They can't make you do anything, Fifi. If you don't want the house, just tell them. Or just sell it. Who cares?
You sound like her.
Is that what Freya was saying? Aww.
I require facts. What do you know?
Well, we know Freya was stabbed with a knife, and then she fell...
Correction. She was stabbed with something. There was no knife found at the crime scene,
Apart from the one in the painting.
which, as a mere abstract representation, does not count. Nobody has ever been stabbed by the concept of a knife. This belongs to Poppy. In fact, she owns a number of cassette tapes.
Oh yeah, Poppy also has a cassette tape that sounds like it could possibly have recorded. So Poppy plays the piano, and she has the cassette tapes, which seem to be playing her piano music, and which seem to have also recorded maybe the death. So there was that going on with Poppy.
What happened to it, though?
It has been left underwater for an extended period of time.
Right. But why?
I do not know why. The statue itself does not interest me, but I do wish to know about those symbols on the harp. Have you deciphered their meaning yet?
We're working on it.
We are?
Yeah, we don't know what to do about that.
Curious. The red paint on the brush is not paint. It is blood. Same for the palette.
So Freya added the blood to the painting herself?
Or blood got on the brush and palette some other way?
I do not know the answer. Freya is normally highly skilled at capturing someone's likeness, but in this painting, she has accidentally made Flora look quite young.
I think she was just being kind.
Why is that kind? Anyway, I'm far more interested in what Flora is holding. I performed the test on the red paint myself. I discovered that it was in fact not paint, but blood.
What made you want to test it in the first place?
It was Poppy. She told me she thought the painting looked like a bloody knife. I told her not to be ridiculous. My mother owns no such knife. But then I noticed that the color was slightly too dark, and the substance itself was overly
Poppy brought it
viscous.
up. Interesting.
You noticed that just from looking at it
Oh
once?
yes, there is an
course.
ink dipper has a feather that looks like a bloody knife, but we haven't seen this bird yet. Anyway, we're gonna keep going. There were lots of feathers in the courtyard where Fitz and Poppy meet, though. Yeah, there's a lot of information that we're trying to remember, and it's only gonna get worse as I talk to everyone
The
about
gramophone
everything.
belongs to Poppy, but I believe she gave it to my mother, and my mother often loaned it to Freya. Or maybe it is the other way around.
When did it get cracked?
I cannot pinpoint it exactly. All I know is that it must have happened sometime in the last 2 days.
Is she laughing?
So this is your special tape to Freya. Okay.
Now this is interesting. Where did you find it?
In the astronomy tower.
And yet, it does not concern the field of astronomy.
Nope.
In fact, you could even say that entomology is the exact opposite of astronomy.
Yeah. You could.
I would not say that, however.
Oh. You wouldn't?
No, it would be quite naive. To study science in any field is to study the connections between all matter in the universe, living or inanimate. This belongs to Professor Pointer, does it not?
No, I don't think so.
Who else would own such a pointless little telescope?
It's a telescope.
Oh yes, it has a telescopic lens. It could only be used for looking at things that are far away.
Did we found that and locked away in the garden, maybe?
Is this yours, Fifi?
I do not recognize it. And besides, I would have no use for such a thing. Perhaps it could be used to hang wet laundry?
Was that a joke?
Yes.
I still love Fifi. Which of the two tapes had the murder sound again? The green one, not the cracked tape. I don't think. But we could go listen to those again. Actually, I could look at them in the clues, I think, when I'm not in a conversation.
I am scared of birds.
Why?
It is an irrational fear. I have no suitable explanation.
Oh.
Now I'll get her. This was in Penny's room.
Who is this her to whom the message refers?
Well, I don't know exactly.
Then how can I meaningfully evaluate this object? Next! Why did Poppy leave shards of glass all over this statue?
What makes you think it was Poppy?
The statue lives in the music room. Who else would it be?
Who is that in the photo?
I'm quite sure that I have no idea.
Well, this is what I think looks like a young photo of Freya, who died. Hmm.
The fruit here has a unique chemical makeup. It makes them completely pointless. Unless you wish to cut it down and sell it as a precious stone.
It's not edible.
Depends.
On what?
On the structural integrity of your teeth. That blade.
This is the PP and FF trowel
It's a troll.
in
for
Fitz's
gardening.
room.
It is.
Hmm. As this Fifi is great. I love it. She is great, yeah.
What's wrong?
Earmuffs do not go on statues. What a mess. Penelope should tidy up after herself.
These weren't dropped by Penny. They were dropped by birds, I think.
My argument stands.
Do you know who was reading this
See,
book?
this is the book.
It belongs to my mother.
And she left it in the library?
No, my mother's not been in the library for some time.
Hmm. It's Flora's book.
A book. My book.
And what's in it?
Pages.
That's her diary.
I believe Freya was attempting to communicate something through this painting.
Any idea what it was?
I am not the person to ask. All I see is
It
a
kind of
blood-red
looks
mountain
like
with
the
angry
detective,
storm clouds brewing above it. As
Hawk
such,
thingy,
I
right?
cannot ascertain any
The
meaning
red
from
with
it
the black?
whatsoever. There is a drawing of me, a drawing of Detective Hawkshaw, and a drawing of Poppy and Fitz.
Yeah, there's something going on with Poppy and Fitz, and Freya's sad about it, and I guess Penny doesn't know.
A wooden carving of my father, made by my father. Although, now that I look at it, I do not understand how he was able to paint the red parts without any red paint.
Really?
It is a model of Freya, made by my father.
A model of Flora, you mean?
And a man with a beard. And a little red and white creature.
Why would my father make a model of Freya?
Complicated. I'm gonna ask her about people, and then we're gonna move to the next person.
Name, Flora Fellow. Age, 44. Profession, unknown. Likes, unknown. Dislikes, unknown.
Isn't she your mother? How do you not know anything?
I believe other people may have discovered methods of reaching her, but I have little capacity for interpreting nonverbal communication.
And how long has Flora been non-verbal?
She has always been quiet, willing to speak when necessary, but not more.
So what happened to make her stop talking entirely?
She suffered a great loss, something she has been unable to move beyond.
She is nonverbal, but she was always low verbal. Interesting.
Name, Felix Fellow. Age, 53. Profession, none. Likes, collecting objects of negligible monetary value and assigning them personal value. Dislikes, the inescapable realities of human existence. Notes, Felix is my father and legal guardian.
And, is he a good dad?
I have no point of comparison, but I would say no.
No. Why not?
You asked me a binary question. Do not get upset that I provided one of the two possible answers.
What makes him a bad father, Fifi?
He has trouble expressing his emotions, and something of a willful detachment from reality.
Huh. Just like you, then.
Grimoire.
No, he is quite correct.
Okay, let's ask you about you.
Name, Fiona Fellow. Age, 19. Profession, amateur microbiologist. Likes, the meaningful archiving of information. Dislikes, the superfluous window dressing accompanying the majority of human contact. Notes, Kindly disregard the polysyllabic form of my given forename and refer to me instead as Fifi.
How come you prefer Fifi?
How come you prefer Grimoire?
How are you related to the other fellows?
Fitz is my cousin. His father, a man named Flint, was my uncle.
Was?
I do not know if Flint is alive or not. He left Tangle Tower a long time ago.
And what about Freya? How are you related to her?
We share exactly one grandparent.
Okay. This is all very interesting. Like, in terms of gameplay mechanics, I don't think just clicking through dialogue options forever is amazing. But also, I am engaged. I am interested in what's happening, you know? So maybe that's an unfair assessment.
Name, Haksha. Age, unknown. Profession, private detective. Likes, quote, being left alone. Dislikes, quote, being constantly badgered by a weirdo nerd with a clipboard.
Also, I guess a lot of this would be divided up if I hadn't gone and seen everyone, done all the puzzles, and selected everything, and then come around to talk to everyone.
Name, Freya Fellow. Age, 19. Profession,
But this is what it is,
artist.
so...
Deceased. Understand this. Most people find me difficult. They exhibit a noticeable degree of discomfort when talking to me. There it is. Freya, who had a way of being an exception to any given rule, was not at all like this. She is very important, and I will not rest until I understand what has happened to her.
Did you spend a lot of time with Freya recently?
I will say this. In the past year, Freya became, 1, increasingly independent, and 2, increasingly isolated.
Do you know why?
I do not. If you are looking for a speculative, empathetic opinion, try asking Poppy instead.
The three of you are friends.
We are of a similar age, and all highly gifted. 1 scientist, 1 artist, and 1 musician.
Sounds like quite a team.
Okay.
Name, Fitzfellow. Age, 24. Profession, cryptobotanist. Likes soil, dislikes electric lights.
Hang on. Cryptobotanist? I thought he was just a gardener.
That may well be his preferred label. Mine, however, is more accurate.
Do you and Fitz not see eye to eye, Fifi?
We do not.
Well, I wouldn't have thought so. He's well over 6 foot and you've got to be just barely 5.
So what's your problem with him?
Exactly 1 week ago, I witnessed him sneaking up Pointer Tower. He was making every effort to avoid detection.
So?
He was also carrying a knife.
What? There is a knife in play. Or he was carrying the feather and it looked like a knife. Oh, this is so strange. Okay.
Name, Percival Pointer. Age, 57.
Absolutely, what
Profession,
happened to that knife, Rowan? I'm with
none.
you.
I'm pretty sure he's an astronomer.
Oh yes, of course. How uncharacteristically forgetful of me.
Remember the box we found in the attic? The one it wouldn't let us open? Yeah, maybe we should go back up and try.
Name, Penelope Pointer. Age, 27. Profession, ornithologist. Likes, birds. Dislikes, insects. Notes, Penelope is very beautiful. I have never had very much in common with her.
Aw.
Name, Poppy Pointer. Age, 19. Profession, Apparently Poppy has defaced my notes. Under profession, I had of course originally written pianist, but she has crossed that out and written the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
Okay. Thank you for talking to me, Fifi. Alright, let's go and speak to someone else. We can go through everyone and get everything done. I'm just gonna keep going around and up, I think. So we'll do Hawkshaw next. I think Hawkshaw looks like the painting of from Freya. The red within the tall red with the little black cap. Rowan says, is Professor Pointer an astronomer, though? His telescope only points at the opposite tower. It sounds like it's been a long time since he did any astronomy. So I agree, Rowan. I think he was pointing it at Flora. Alright, you're gonna be really annoying. Let's go.
Quite the stoic statue, isn't she? I can only dream of being as cold and indifferent as Flora Fellow.
You think she's hiding something?
I don't think she's cold and
Perhaps.
indifferent.
She has some strange habits. I heard she barely sleeps, an hour here or there, sporadically. Spends the rest of her time staring up at the sky.
Hawkshaw's really cool, but I do not like her.
Did you get anything useful out of him?
Not sure. What about you?
Nothing worth committing to paper.
I think he knows more than he lets on.
Probably. But talking with him is so tedious. Considerably intelligent, and her powers of observation are enviable. But she has no ambition. No focus.
In her defense, she's still a teenager.
Barely. 314 cases solved. 314. Freya Fellow is of great interest to me. I perceived her to be the most intelligent individual here at Tangle Tower. Within a day, she had identified for whom I was working and for what I was searching. I didn't know how she did it. I was impressed. I regret that I did not question her more thoroughly when I had the opportunity.
You couldn't have known she was about to be killed, though.
I have only myself to blame for failing to perceive the signs.
What signs?
I do not wish to do your job for you, Detective.
The signs? Is she supposed to have killed herself? This is very strange.
I'll say this, he's well suited to physical labor.
That's a nice way to put it.
Fitz spends most of his time alone in the greenhouse, but I heard he's been breeding experimental flowers in secret.
Whoa, scandal.
I just wonder if he's getting restless. Professor Pointer is a respectable astronomer. Keeps himself to himself. What?
We're just surprised.
That was the most polite you've been about anyone.
I'm kind of pleased we've ended up doing it this way because I would have been annoyed having to go back and try and remember what people I hadn't questioned about everything, and now I can just question everyone about everything.
I find her rather embarrassing. Little more than a spoilt child.
Penny must be at least 25.
27. Just makes it worse.
27. Sierra, hello!
Poppy has remarkable musical talent. She could be famous, wealthy even, if she wanted to.
She'd probably have to leave Tangle Tower first.
Quite.
Okay. Now I'm gonna ask you about all these clues. We're gonna be here a little while. It looks like there's a lot more clues to come.
Tangle Tower. No idea why they insist on calling it that. It's not even a tower. It's little more than a pair of turrets stuck on either side of a mansion.
Have you searched
Hi,
the whole
Coral.
place?
I believe so. Why?
He wants to know if you found any secret rooms.
Huh. I'm afraid the residents of Tangle Tower are far too ordinary for anything like that. I was disappointed too. You truly consider this a case file?
What's wrong with it?
No organization, no system.
That's my style. I like seeing everything laid out at once. Yeah, it helps me think.
How quaint. Where'd you dig that up?
It wasn't buried. It was underwater.
Coral says I like
Someone
Hawkshaw.
trying to
I
conceal
think
evidence,
Hawkshaw is
perhaps?
cool. I don't think I like her. I think she seems quite mean. But she's a great character, so I think I do like her as a character.
Have you deciphered the meaning of those four
I
symbols
hate meeting
on the
her. Yeah,
hull?
okay, we're on the same page.
We're working on it.
That's a no then.
Okay. I still don't know what we're doing with
Conveniently
that
left anonymous.
fountain.
It's useless until you can prove to whom it concerns. Can you do that?
No?
No.
She's very enjoyable when she's happening to other people. Yeah.
The paint is still wet.
Yeah, well, we know Freya was in the middle of painting when she was killed.
Do you know that? How? Because you were told? Makes quite
That's a good
an
point.
impression, doesn't it? Although I can't imagine why she painted Flora wielding a knife.
You didn't see a knife anywhere in Flora's room, did you?
It's not a
I
knife!
did not.
It's an
I
ink dipper
conclude
feather!
whoever stabbed Freya must have been brought into the room from outside. Unless, of course, it was the painting itself.
Surely you don't believe in that kind of thing.
A detective's job is to examine every avenue of thinking.
That's the same as Grimoire. That's so fun.
A somewhat cumbersome device, and an altogether inefficient way to listen to music.
What kind of music do you like, Hawkshaw?
I like anything.
What a cop-out.
Interesting. I wonder if Sirius is all Sally has a crush? Maybe, yeah.
I believe that was in Flora's room yesterday, but it was not cracked when I saw it last.
Really?
Where did you find this?
Do you have any theories about where this might have been?
Or who might have had it?
I have several theories, but they are my theories, and I'm not going to share them.
This belongs to you, Hawkshaw?
Correct.
And, what is it?
It's my handheld microscope for up-close investigation work.
What do you magnify with it?
Trace particles, dust, oils,
Fifi said it
clothing
was
fibers.
definitely a
Have
telescope.
you used it here at Tangle Tower?
I have. I used it to examine the greenhouse only 2 days ago.
What were you looking for?
That is between myself and my client.
Was she hired by Penny to find out about the if there's an affair between Fitz and Poppy? I'm interested. That was definitely a contradiction. It would feel like we could look through it and tell whether it's a microscope or a telescope. It certainly looks a lot more like a telescope. I'll tell you that.
What is that?
I'm not sure. It looks like it attaches to something else.
Why don't you go back and double-check the area you found it? Maybe you'll find the rest of the something else.
I'm not so sure about that.
3 birds, 1 cage. What makes them worth keeping cooped up, I wonder? Would they not be happier flying free?
But then they might fly away from Tangle Tower entirely.
I wonder if they would.
Yeah, now I'll get her.
These people really are ridiculous, aren't they?
Thanks, Hawkshaw.
Some breed of amphibious humanoid. Potentially bipedal. Although none of the statues show the creature's feet.
I guess we'll never know.
Who's that?
Not sure. It doesn't really look like anyone we've met so far.
Strange.
I think it looks like maybe a young Freya, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Fifi had a real cackle about it, which does make me wonder some things, because Fifi has strong sapphic energy to me. Alright.
The people here are
Jess said to make her a
surprisingly
private investigator and not a
materialistic,
detective per se.
considering how sheltered they
That's
are.
true.
Materialistic?
Growing this fruit simply because it produces a gemstone-like material. For
Not to
what
say that
possible purpose,
someone might not
other
do
than
a bit of
financial
both. They're
gain?
very overlapping.
You're speculating.
What would you do, Grimoire, if you could grow valuable stone straight from the earth?
She was obviously sent here on a private contract
This
regardless.
is a potential murder weapon, is it not?
I don't know. I don't think the murderer would leave the murder weapon just lying around.
I think you'd be surprised as to what people leave lying around.
You think this is the murder weapon? That's interesting. She claimed to be here as a detective. She did, but she also keeps referring to a client, which is not very detective-y.
One of 3 statues depicting the same creature. This one is where
You can be a private detective, I think.
Perhaps they belong to someone who likes music.
They're not headphones. They're earmuffs. For blocking out sound.
Perhaps they belong to someone who doesn't like music. Do you also have a pile of leaves as a clue?
Oh, not yet. Did you see some suspicious
Hey,
leaves?
Never. Cross says Grimar has also referred to himself as a private detective. That just seems to be the term of art in this setting. Yeah, I guess so.
A book from
The
the
Ink Dipper.
library. One of hundreds, no doubt. What makes this one special?
The Ink Dipper
It's
feather.
about birds.
Yes, I see that.
You're not asking any of the right questions,
A
Grimoire.
diary. Have you read it?
Not yet. It's locked.
And you haven't attempted to force it open?
That would be cheating.
I
This-
admit, it's powerful.
It looks like
Freya
you.
was a talented young woman.
Someone even liked it enough to take a photo of it.
Now, we don't know why they took the photograph, do we? Perhaps they just wanted it for reference.
You took this photo.
When did Freya draw the picture of you, Hawkshaw?
I didn't model for her, if that's what you're asking. She must have done it without my permission.
Could just be from memory. It's not quite as detailed as the others, anyway.
I'd tell him not to quit his day job.
We're talking to
But he
everyone now,
hasn't got
Never.
one, has he?
That's the big goal today.
These figurines remind me of a case I once solved involving a possessed doll. Turned out to be a bit of a smokescreen, as these things often do.
Your life sounds fun. Grimoire, why don't we ever have fun adventures like that?
Are we not having a fun adventure right at this very moment?
Okay. We've done Hawkshaw. We're just gonna work our way back up the other side. So next is Fitz. Yeah. Everyone's got like a secret confession, I think, locked. I'm really excited about that. Let's go through.
I like Flora. I hope she's all right.
Do you think she had anything to do with the murder?
Never says, do you suspect anyone yet? Of the murder? Not really. I have some theories regarding, I feel like Fitz and maybe Poppy are having an affair, and maybe Penny hired Hawkshaw to investigate and see if that was true. And that maybe the, like, whatever it was, I'll get her, is actually about Poppy and not Freya. We think that the knife in the painting might actually be an ink dipper feather, but we haven't seen an ink dipper feather yet. And we think that the murder weapon is probably in the box that Grimoire won't let us open in the attic. So we're just kind of going through. We don't really know. We're just trying to put some pieces together. Cross says, I figured the case out. It was everyone all at the same time. They all independently decided to commit murder at the same time. Aha! The truth is revealed.
There's no way. She wouldn't willingly cause any additional suffering for anyone. Felix is a contradiction. His loyalties are placed firmly within the realm of materialism, money, property. But his ego relies on an entirely fraudulent self-image, don't you think?
I was just about to say the same thing.
The voice acting in that one had a lot of like mouth clicks, which I'm noticing a lot at the moment because of all the audiobook editing I'm doing.
Fifi doesn't like me.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Oh no, I can't
I'm
unhear
not
it.
sure. If you find out, maybe you can let me know.
You don't know why Fifi doesn't like you. Well, I mean, I think it's because whether you're having an affair or not, you're spending a lot of time with her best friend / possible crush, and it's obviously upsetting to her. Never says, but what if the paint killed Freya? Secretly, the paint fumes got her. Yeah, could be! Could be!
She questioned me,
About what?
my work, the plants, bit of everything.
Did she search the greenhouse?
No, she didn't.
You sure? Maybe she did it when you weren't in there.
No, she hasn't touched it.
How can you tell?
Trust me, I can tell. She was always kind to me. She'd come into the greenhouse when I was working, sometimes by herself, sometimes with Poppy. I think they were just bored at first. Eventually, they started asking questions.
About what?
Poppy wanted to learn about flowers. Freya, she used to ask me about the insects.
Insects?
One of my jobs is to protect plants from things that might eat them. Freya brought me this little glass box, leaves and twigs inside. She'd say, put all the troublemakers in there. Every day I'd put a handful of beetles and other things in the box. Then she'd come along and take it away. I didn't really understand her, but she was always kind.
That seems to be the line from a lot of people, to be honest. What about
Have you
you?
met this guy, Fitz? Shifty eyes, doesn't say a lot. Totally suspicious, if you ask me.
That's me.
Yeah, it was a joke. I was joking.
Oh, I see.
I imagine you don't visit the astronomy tower too often, do you?
No, but I still see Pointer, sometimes. He's always curious about what I'm growing in the greenhouse. Asks me about the birds, too, and insects. He's pretty clued up on his evolutionary biology.
I didn't think there was much overlap between astronomy and biology.
Penelope is my fiancée.
Don't take this the wrong way, but Penny doesn't really strike me as your type.
She's not who she pretends to be. People think she's... well, they make assumptions.
And how's the relationship doing recently?
Good. It's good.
Okay, so we have had confirmed from his perspective that they are fiancés. Okay.
Poppy and I are friends.
Oh, I can buy that. Dark clothes, blue hair, an average of 3 words per sentence. Oh, you're like 2 peas in a pod.
She's very kind, and she has an interest in plants. Unusual flowers, mostly. I've been teaching her.
Right.
Is something wrong?
Okay, Sally also thinks that maybe there's an affair going on there. If Sally thinks it, I feel a little less silly for thinking it. Alright, Fitz, get ready. A lot more questions incoming.
Nice painting. Gives you a pretty good idea of the layout.
The lake looks like it forms a perfect circle around the island.
It might seem strange
I feel like
to
I need
you,
a notebook.
but nature is quite capable of producing perfectly geometric forms.
And those mountain cliff things around the outside?
We don't know much about them. They're unscalable. Not even Freya could have gone up there.
What's that?
This painting, it's speculative. There are no photographs from this angle as far as I know.
So Freya just made it up.
Let's call it an informed estimation.
That's interesting.
Who gave you that information?
Well...
We don't actually know who it was. We were contacted
Oh.
anonymously.
I see. And what happens if the person who contacted you turns out to be the murderer?
I never thought about that.
Honestly, that would be kind of fun. Like a twist, you know?
That looks like it might belong to Poppy.
I agree.
It's of no interest to me, but I overheard Poppy and Freya talking about it once.
What were they saying?
They were arguing about something, but I can't remember the details.
Seriously, did it make it kind of hard to get paid if the client was the murderer? I was just about to spoil a film, and I won't do that.
How odd. There's something off about this.
What is it?
Why don't you take another look at Flora's room?
You think we missed a clue up there?
Not exactly.
Take another look at Flora's room. At Flora's room for the brush and palette. Okay, let's remember that. Somebody type it in chat. We're gonna look back in Flora's room. It's related to the brush and palette. He thinks we missed context. Maybe we did. I don't feel like I thought much about the brush and palette beyond the fact that it's like, oh, there's blood on the brush. And it's like, well, there was blood on the painting. So we should go back. Yeah, thank you, Des.
What do you think that is in Flora's hand?
I don't
Heather?
know. It does look like a knife, but Flora wasn't holding anything at all when I saw her after the murder. But there's something bothering me. Something else.
What?
When we went into Flora's room, she wasn't standing in this position.
Well, she probably would have moved around a little bit by then.
She wasn't standing at all. She was kneeling on the floor.
She was kneeling on the floor.
That belongs to Poppy.
So why is it up in
See
Flora's
the
tower?
paintbrushes swap? That's
I'm not
interesting.
sure.
Quite possible.
That looks like it might belong to Poppy.
You think this also belongs to Poppy? Okay.
I've seen beetles with brightly colored shells, metallic shells even. They're relatively common, especially
We need to listen to
around
those
here.
again.
There's a difference between that and actual gold.
It can't be actual gold. Gold is just inside the earth or whatever. You can't make it. That's called alchemy. It was a whole thing.
He's a cryptobotanist. Maybe he's also an alchemist. Interesting, interesting.
You ever seen this before, Fitz?
No, but I don't normally go into Fifi's room.
That's not where we found it.
Oh, I just thought it looks like it belongs to her.
Okay, 3 people have given different explanations for this, and they're belonging to different people. Hawkshaw has claimed it for herself. Fifi said it wasn't hers. This is interesting. This is very interesting.
I don't know what that is.
Me neither.
Me 3. Oh, sorry. I thought you said me too.
Penelope's 3 favorite birds. She's very protective over them.
Are they, like, her pets? Do they have names?
Oh, they have names. Penelope loves to name things.
Do you remember what she named them?
I do not. Those petals,
What?
they're red.
We saw in the sketch Fitz giving a rose surrounded by petals to Poppy. Just saying.
What's with the broken glass?
That was a suspicious reaction.
Any idea who this is?
No idea.
This is kind of the biggest mystery for me. Because my best guess is that this is a young photo of Freya, but I feel like people would have said if it was. So it's someone else. Could it be Hawkshaw? I don't know.
This is a good example of how things
With
work.
undyed hair?
I mix that soil here in the greenhouse. It's made with water from the lake.
And it makes the fruit grow all shiny and gem-stony?
Sometimes. You never really know what's going to happen.
And what do you do with this shiny and edible fruit?
You look at it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we got this from under Fitz's bed.
This is yours, Fitz?
Yeah.
Do you use it?
I keep all my tools in the greenhouse.
That wasn't what she asked.
Wait, those are mine. The earmuffs. They went missing about a week ago.
What do you need earmuffs for?
I use them for gardening sometimes.
Why? You don't own a chainsaw, do you?
No. I wear them while I'm gardening, and it stops people from trying to talk to me.
That's genius.
It's like wearing visible headphones on public transport, even if you're not listening to music. Yeah, very relatable trick. Absolutely does.
We found these up in the rooftop garden. Do you know how long they've been there?
No, it could have been a long time. We don't ever really clear up the rooftop garden.
Why not?
Nature is unruly. In truth, it prefers to be left alone.
That's a weird thing for someone who's constantly experimenting with plants to say.
Penelope knows about birds. You should ask her instead.
Actually, I wanted to ask you about something. There's a plant mentioned on this page, see? Do you have any? In the greenhouse?
No, I don't grow that anymore. I've tried, in the past. It's incredibly difficult, even for me. I could never get it to live more than a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Looks like someone doesn't want you to read that book.
That's the main thing making me want to read it.
Freya's best work, in my opinion. Although, the photo doesn't carry the same energy as the real thing.
What do you think it's a painting of?
What do you mean?
Like, what's the subject matter? What's that big red thing?
Oh, I don't think it's that kind of painting.
And that's Hawkshaw.
Fitz, one of these drawings is of you in the rooftop garden, I think, with Poppy.
Mm-hmm. Are we done? Felix made that? Huh. That's quite sweet, really.
Okay. We're done with Fitz.
There's something about Hawkshaw's handheld microscope.
Yeah, you mean all of the contradictions? I'm with you on that.
Something suspicious.
100%, Grimoire. Keep up.
Let's ask her about it.
Okay, yeah, let's ask. Sure. That's exciting. Oh, suspicion!
This little microscope thing, you said you used it to search the greenhouse.
This is fun.
And this
I like
would
this.
make perfect sense if you knew what my client had asked me to find.
Well, then
Of course,
explain.
I still have no intention of disclosing that information.
Ah!
You're such a tease, Hawkshaw. Don't worry. We already worked out what you're searching for.
I mean, I think she's... looking for... these two. The plant and the bird book? Do I think she's searching for that? I don't. Why do you think that? Because I think she's looking for proof of affair.
That's not right.
Okay.
That's not right.
Alright, now. The ripped photo? Ah,
That's not right.
no. Seems like it's not the things that I'm looking at that I've been suggesting. I don't feel like I have the information for this and it's upsetting me. We'll try the Planet the Bird book.
That's not right.
Okay, this is annoying. I don't want to just have to click everything. I feel like we should know! Fitz was very adamant that he doesn't grow this anymore. He didn't say what it was. Right, but what does that have to do with Hawkshaw? And Hawkshaw hasn't searched the greenhouse. The game thinks we have the information. Yeah, but we don't. It doesn't help. It's kind of the Ace Attorney problem when you're just selecting an object and you don't know in which way they're going to be using it or what angle they're approaching from. Maybe you're looking for the harp statue.
That's not right.
Alright, I don't know. Oh, I'm annoyed. This has angered me. The
You're
golden
not as hopeless
beetle.
as you look.
Thanks.
So, that's what you were looking for in the greenhouse? This beetle?
Surely even you can understand the logic of it. The greenhouse is home to a great many insects. The gardener could have easily kept the beetle hidden in there.
Well, Fitz said you questioned him, but didn't actually search the greenhouse.
He is not exactly the type to appreciate subtlety. He simply didn't notice that I was using my microscope.
What do you reckon, Grimoire?
I know for a fact you didn't use the microscope in the greenhouse.
It's not a microscope.
It's not a microscope at all.
All of a sudden, Detective Grimoire is some kind of expert on microscopes.
Okay, this again. I don't feel like I have anywhere near enough information for all of this. This is annoying. This is gonna be the same thing where I don't know why I'm doing this.
telescopic lens is a part of the handheld microscope, so Hawkshaw lied about it. Nope.
Okay. Is there a reason to believe it's not actually a microscope? Everyone, according to Fifi, the handheld microscope, according to Fifi, uses a telescopic lens. Yes?
The handheld microscope, according to Fifi,
There we go.
uses a telescopic lens, so Hawkshaw lied about it. I'm inclined to believe Fifi when it comes to stuff like this.
Absolutely.
Aksha, why did you lie about owning a telescope?
When you were a child, what did you aspire to become?
A detective? Naturally.
Emperor of the Galaxy?
I wanted to be an astronomer.
Really?
I harbored a desire to understand the secrets of the wider universe. A fool's errand, to be sure, but a seductive one. At 15, I decided instead to apply my intelligence to the world around me. And so, I became a detective. But the yearning for
At
elusive
15?
knowledge is a powerful force. I tried to keep it with me.
Sorry, but we're way off track. What's the deal with the little telescope?
A memento from my childhood. Little more than a toy.
Why did you bring it with you?
When I discovered that it was Professor Pointer who had hired me, I dared to consider it
Professor
something of a
Pointer is your
planetary alignment.
client.
I had hoped he might sign my telescope. An extremely childish indulgence, I admit.
I never would have guessed.
Hold on. You're admitting you didn't use it in the greenhouse then?
Correct. As it happens, I have no need to search the greenhouse to such a degree. Professor Pointer doesn't consider the gardener a suspect in our theft investigation.
So,
theft of the
who is
beetle.
your suspect?
Things have become complicated. My lead suspect is your murder victim.
I don't really remember this golden beetle. We know we saw the diagram. Causes ill fortune to those who sees it. I don't really remember this at all. It was just on the wall in the astronomy tower, I guess. What would he want with this as an astronomer? Okay, we keep going around. At least now we know what Hawkshaw was doing here. Time for Poppy. I'm really enjoying this game. It was hidden in the Planet Sun puzzle thingy. Oh, okay, that's where we got it. What was stolen, though? A beetle? A specimen of it, perhaps? Alright, we're going through.
Needless noise from tongues expel, unless within the mouth they dwell. The spoken word, unfit for dealing with the shifting form of feeling. Stand unblinking in the face of taciturn and soundless space.
That was really cool. There was a lot of mouth noise, but it was very cool. Just improv some poetry. This is not sure how useful all this is. Yeah. Freya as an insect enthusiast would be pretty sus. Yeah.
Foregone drifter, holding fast, days as shadow seeker past. Is it bravery or surrender, accepting that your world will render nothing darker than the gloom some four walls make around a room? Between the lips a silver spoon, a story written all too soon. The chosen dwelling of her heart, unjustly chosen to depart. Lost her liberation lays in the center of a maze. With surging tide, the waves are thrown, an entity of all its own. But on its surface you may see, reflected in the waters be, the orchestrator, pale and still, pulling strings, enacting will. Hard of head, but free of mind, unimprisoned, unconfined. With starry eyes, she sees beyond, behind our walls, beneath our pond. A soul untied. It's hers. It's free. Was then, is now, will ever be.
These are not that helpful, but I'm enjoying them.
Softly does the flower grow, all in time, and time is slow. Rest a seed within the earth, but do not rush its gentle birth. Hour by hour, day by day, tune your heart to nature's way. Eavesdrop what the stars are saying, earthly tether, slowly fraying, floating, helpless from the worst of jealous hunger, selfish thirst. Take a moment, kneel and
Jealous
meet
hunger.
the flowers growing at your feet.
Mm-hmm.
Feathers flashing in the light, from a sunbeam gleaming bright. I shield my eyes and turn my head, but all at once I've been misled. Light is shining on the stage, but through the railings of a cage. That's me. I'm on a list of murder suspects. Always thought that would be kinda cool, but it's just tedious.
Falls a little short, doesn't it?
Okay. Prepare for the list.
So there are 2 families living in Tangle Tower?
Mm-hmm. 3 pointers and 5 fellows. 4 fellows.
What's the connection between them?
There isn't one. Not really. It was all built by the Remington family. Flora is a Remington, originally. So was Primrose, my mother.
Okay.
She married into the Pointers, and Flora married into the Fellows.
Okay.
So the fellows and the pointers own the house now?
Flora owns the house. Depending on who you ask.
So Fifi
that
inherits.
means her husband Felix owns it too.
What about your father?
His claim over the house kind of fell apart after my mother left.
Where's your mother now?
No idea.
Very interesting. We're gonna keep going through.
There's something I noticed about Freya's knife wound.
Hit me.
From what we could tell, the blade went in at an exact right angle, perpendicular to Freya's body. And there's only one small pool of blood. Nothing on Freya's hands, or anywhere else. The whole thing is just a little too peaceful.
Was she actually stabbed after she was lying down?
This is mine.
Yeah.
Really?
No, well, yes, it was. I gave it to Freya
From
about
above,
a year ago.
while lying down
was on it?
already. She didn't
Nothing.
fall.
It was blank. Freya said she wanted to record something.
Any idea how it ended up underwater?
Maybe someone wanted to destroy it, but got really lazy.
What do you make of the statue?
I know that's the only harp in the whole of Tangle Tower. I've never actually seen a real one.
Maybe it's from before your time.
Oh, definitely. You see
We
how
gotta go
old
back
this
up that tower.
statue is?
If I don't get
What
time
about the
to
symbols?
talk to everyone.
One of them looks like piano keys.
Yeah, weird.
Is the harp statue gonna represent the...
Don't you think that's weird? That the letter isn't addressed to anyone or signed by anyone?
Someone's being deliberately secretive.
Or they're trying to manipulate you?
I need to reread that letter. I don't remember its significance.
Freya would always load up the palette with all the exact colors she was gonna need. I think it helped her zone out and focus on the actual painting itself. Like getting all your sheet music lined up before playing a long piece.
Right. So the blob of black paint in the middle, that was for painting Flora?
Flora's dress, yeah. She wears even more black than I do. When I first saw it, I thought it looked like Flora was holding a knife with blood on the tip.
You don't think that anymore?
No, it was a stupid thing to say. The room was dark. I was in shock. I'm just an idiot.
But it was blood on the tip. If you hadn't said anything, maybe Fifi wouldn't have checked.
Exactly. It's stupid.
But we would have missed out on an important clue.
Is it a clue? Really? Tell me how it's a clue. Tell me how it helps. Nothing about the knife makes any sense. It's just freaking everyone out. Wish I'd never said anything.
Hmm.
It was my mother's originally.
So, why is it up in Flora's room?
She just gets the most use out of it. Freya would borrow it too sometimes.
Does this belong to you, Poppy?
Now that's not really my style, is it?
But who else would own a tape like this?
Literally anybody?
I think it's Fifi's.
You get some weird insects around here.
Or it's
I've
from that
never seen
girl
one
in the
like that.
picture.
I'm not sure anyone has.
Freya might have. She used to keep beetles in a box in her room.
Why?
For fun, obviously.
Hmm. We've solved small lens. I'm not going to bother with that.
Where did you find this?
It was in the attic.
Oh, huh. I forgot we even had an attic. I think it's kind of cruel to keep 3 birds in one cage like that.
Does Penny not let them out to fly?
Oh, she does. She must do. But I don't think they're allowed to go far. Penny can be a little protective.
Hmm.
Those petals,
What about them?
it's nothing.
Uh-huh.
They're just unusual.
Yeah, they're from the rooftop garden. Don't want to say anything about it?
Don't look at me. I didn't break it.
Does anybody else use the music room?
Yes. I don't know who, but I can tell when somebody else has touched the piano. I don't know what that is.
Weird, considering we found it hidden in your room.
Well, my room is full of junk. There's probably a bunch of stuff hidden in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean like... Please stop talking to me. Oh, you've been to the greenhouse? What did you think?
Impressive, I guess. But kind of unsettling, with Fitz lurking in the shadows the whole time.
Yeah, he does that. Is that a gardening trowel?
Yeah, I think it belongs to Fitz.
Really? Huh, never seen him use it.
Has big, hidden gift from Penny energy. News is the photo Poppy before turning goth. That is an interesting thought. That is an interesting thought, Noon. And then that would explain that this tape would be Poppy's, as many people have suggested.
Do you know where those earmuffs came from?
I put them there.
Because it is
Why?
piano music on it.
I found them lying around. I think they belong to Fitz. I put them on the statue so he'd see them. I thought they looked like headphones. Like he's in the recording studio with his guitar. No?
If they do belong to Fitz, he hasn't taken them back yet. When did you find them?
This morning.
Where?
I don't know, in a hallway. Can't remember exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of birds up in the rooftop garden. They seem to really like it up there.
Why's that?
It's quiet.
Thank you, Coral, for
That belongs
moderating.
to Flora, I think. Is that Fifi's diary? I'm sure I've seen it in her room before.
That's where we found it.
Have you ever read it? Do you know what's written in there?
Nope. I'm sure she wouldn't appreciate me.
She's got
invading her
freckles, and so
privacy.
does the girl in the
I
photo.
thought you and Fifi were close friends.
Yeah, we are. It's just Fifi's gotten kinda impatient with me recently.
Do you
Mhm.
know why?
I'm not sure.
I'm sure she'd tell you if you asked.
Oh, she would. She'd give it to me straight. Probably why I've been avoiding it.
Mm-hmm. Noon, I really think you've got it on that.
I think
But I don't know its
everybody sees
relevance.
something
Who's been
different.
ripped out?
Did Freya ever tell you what she saw in it?
Not exactly. She said something about it being from a recurring nightmare.
Sorry, but if it was from a nightmare, why would you paint it and leave it in front of your bed?
Maybe she wanted to take control of it. Giving something a physical form can make it easier to deal with. Well, sometimes. Hey, that's me. Not a bad likeness.
It looks like you're standing in a rose bush.
Is there something wrong with that? Whose paints are those?
They belong to Felix, I think.
Is that supposed to be Flora?
Possibly?
Oh, how nice.
Okay. I haven't asked about the small lens, but I think that's done. Alright, let's listen to Poppy's poems. Got an achievement for listening. Okay, back to Penny. But we gotta go to Flora's room before the end of the stream today, and we've gotta go back up to the secret room. Okay. We can do all this.
A fellow bird enthusiast. She's quite the expert, truth be told. Studied them professionally at one point. I think her father taught her.
Are you friends with Flora?
A little bit.
A little bit friends.
She's one for the peace and quiet. I dare say I'm a little too loud for her.
I can see that.
I do admire her, though, really. Always felt like she could have done better than settle for Felix.
Ouch.
I said it. I must say, I really don't care for the den of self-delusion that he's retreated into. People are better off when they just let themselves be themselves. Between you and me, I think Felix is secretly rather miserable.
I think that could be true. Rose says you also need to talk to Pointer at some point about the theft that he hired Hawk should investigate. True. I want to do all that before we finish the stream today.
She mostly ignores me, if I'm honest.
How come?
Well, we're not quite on the same intellectual level.
Oh. you don't need to.
No. It's quite all right. I'm comfortable with it. She's a most unsavory little... She was incredibly rude about my appearance.
Which part? The giant bird arms, or...
If I were her, I'd go easy on the judgment of others. I mean, look at her. She looks like the ghost of a scarecrow. I just wish Uncle Pointer would tell
I love
her
the giant
to
bird arms.
behave herself.
Professor Pointer? Why him?
Oh, it was Uncle that called her in. She's his responsibility. Did you not know that?
No, we did know that.
She'd sit in the aviary, first thing in the morning, and paint the birds. Sometimes she'd ask me their names.
Freya was interested in studying bird species too?
No, just wanted to know their names. Isabelle, Clementine, Myrtle, Lysandre, Genevieve.
Got it, thanks.
For my 21st birthday, she gave me a framed painting. All the birds from a single spring, with their names written underneath. I can't begin to tell you how much I've treasured it.
Sounds like you two were close.
I feel like I always struggled to articulate my admiration for her. But she had a way of understanding unspoken things.
So why has someone killed Freya?
Isn't he strapping?
He is big.
And so brooding.
Kinda sulky, yeah.
I can never tell what's going on in that beautiful head of his.
It just sounds like you don't know him very well.
I don't
Yeah.
remember asking for your input. Can't say I've ever taken an interest in Uncle's astronomy. On occasion I've dared to visit him in his tower, but I always regret it. It's all just a little too abstract for me.
What do you mean?
Oh, did you know the sun is apparently over 400,000 miles wide? Okay, so what should I do with that information? How does it help me?
Don't look at me. You're the one who memorized it.
Oh, she's beautiful. Who is she? Wait, is that me? Oh, did you talk to Poppy already?
Yeah, a little bit.
And did you make any notes of what she told you?
Yeah, I did.
Lovely. Burn them. It'll all be lies.
Why would Poppy lie to
You
us?
do hate
Because
Poppy.
that's what she does. She's a snake. Looks like one, too.
Don't you think you're being a little unfair, Penny?
She started it.
She started it. Oh, no, no, no. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. No, no, no. I want to go back to this. We're going through! We're going in!
No, it's probably quite impressive. To a visitor, fresh eyes and all that.
Not to you.
Try living in it for 20 years. The sheen wears off. If it wasn't for my fits, I'd have little reason to stay.
What about inheritance? You're the next oldest pointer after your uncle, aren't you?
Well, thank you very much for phrasing it like that. But no, any money left in the Pointer family will pass down directly to Poppy.
Is that fair?
I couldn't care less, to be perfectly honest.
Penny also thinks Poppy is at least trying to start a relationship with Fitz. It seems that way, yeah.
Finally! I get to see a detective's case file.
That's a very specific
But she has
thing to be
reasons to
excited
just
about.
begrudge her
Oh,
anyway.
Only last week
Because
I
Poppy
asked
inherits.
that miserable Hawkshaw woman if I could see her case notes.
I'm guessing she said no.
Would have been much more polite if she had just said no. Instead, she was quite rude to me. Accused me of being, what was it? A shallow sensationalist. Goodness me. Poppy really doesn't take care of her belongings, does she?
It wasn't in Poppy's room. It was in the little pond in the garden.
Exactly! Hardly the place for it. I'm sure I've read about this creature somewhere. Don't remember anything about him playing the harp, though. Hello. Who penned this juicy little number?
We don't know. It's not signed.
An anonymous letter? Classic clue.
Do quite like Penny.
Oh, that's rather sad. I doubt Freya intended it, but the overall effect is a little unsettling. Don't you think? It's Flora that's the problem. She's an inescapably haunting presence, bless her. Poppy's gramophone. She's had it for a long time. As a young child, she'd call it her mama phone, on account of it belonging to her mother.
That's cute.
Some discrepancies
Oh
on
yes, adorable.
who has the gramophone.
How terrible.
You recognize it?
The color scheme. 3 different pinks. Obscene. Not a fan of insects myself. Whose research is this?
We were hoping you might know.
No, can't say I... Freya, perhaps. I know she was always very fond of grubby little things like this.
Noted.
Is that for sewing?
Maybe?
We have no idea.
I must say the girls are awfully well behaved today. I think they know we're in the presence of company.
They belong to you? Why do you keep them in a cage?
They need a special diet, particular treatment. I let them out to fly occasionally, of course. But they're all one of a kind. I couldn't let anything happen to them.
Oh
Do
no.
they have names?
Don't keep
Of
it in the
course.
cage.
Let me introduce you to Tabitha, Tamara, and Tatiana.
I've already forgotten all 3 of those names.
How are they
Which
of a
one is
kind?
which?
Oh, that's simple. Tatiana is the oldest. Tabitha is the most patient, and Tamara has the best sense of rhythm.
Glad we cleared that up.
What about the one on your head?
On my head? He's just my hat. He doesn't have a name. Who would name their hat?
Is it not an actual bird on her head?
That's rather strange now, isn't it?
We found it in your room.
Just
It's
lying
a hat?
around, was
It is an actual bird,
Nope.
says Never?
You'd hidden it.
So weird.
But we found it.
We do that.
Who's the her in the message? And what's the deal with the petals?
It's really none of your business.
What a thing to say during a murder investigation. He's just my hat. It is an actual bird. That's so
Haven't seen
weird.
This one in a while. He lives in the music room, doesn't he?
Currently.
I can't decide what's worse. How she looks here.
It is
or how
Poppy.
she looks now.
It's
Do you
Poppy.
know who this is? In the photo?
Oh, absolutely no idea.
You obviously know! Why do none of them admit it?
Ooh, delightful. More of a gemstone than a fruit, isn't
Ooh.
it?
Inedible, too, I think.
Yes. At one point, I thought Fitz might be growing them to sell them. But honestly, I think he just likes the way they look.
Yeah, it is Poppy. Noon called it.
Oh, did Fitz show you that?
Not exactly.
We found it hidden under his bed.
Ah, right.
Yeah. This is a gift from Penny. It's hidden under his bed because he doesn't care about it or use it.
Lovely. Oh, there used to be all kinds of birds here at Tangle Tower. The most fascinating
Unless he really
breeds,
values
all
it.
Totally
But
unique.
it's all very hard to
Used
say.
to be? There are birds all over the place.
Because he could
Most
just
of
be
them are
friends with
rather
Poppy.
ordinary, I'm afraid.
What happened to the non-ordinary ones?
But they've been very suspicious.
That is a very good question.
Whew.
Somebody taking an interest in extinct animals.
Can I just say I love that it lets you pause the dialogue as it runs through. Very good feature.
Extinct.
Oh, yes. The book is very old. Most of the birds in it are long gone.
Well, what about this bird, though? The ink dip.
Yeah, the ink dip!
Well, it was thought to be extinct for a long time. Then one was found here at Tangle Tower.
Really?
So it's not extinct.
You misunderstand. It was the last one. The very last.
Oh.
But its feather looks like a knife.
Ooh, a secret diary.
That's our guess too.
Excellent.
Hold on. Des, I'm holding on. I am holding on. What happened to that bird? I mean, I assume it died. It may not have been young. That could be a motive. I think that's an interesting point. For us, fun fact, the very last living member of species is called an endling. I already knew that, but it is a fun fact. I love it. I only learned that recently.
I know a lot of people rather like this painting, but it's a little much for me.
Yeah, a lot of
I
people
find
said they like it.
overbearing. And for some reason, it makes me feel bad for Freya. I think she was more troubled than we knew.
Hmm.
Very nice.
You've seen these before?
Yes.
All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Even this one of...
Yes.
Like, there's nothing actually suspicious about them being friends or a picture of them with roses in the rose garden. It's just, they're really cagey about it, and she's really jealous about it, and it all sort of adds up to some kind of something either happening or at least being a motive because of the suspicions, right? What if the bird ate the beetle? That's an interesting thought. That doesn't... But we... Also, never. Don't suggest anything. Never. You know what's going on. Don't do that. But yeah, so, I mean, until we see a bird somewhere, we're not going to know about that. But yeah, let's carry on.
A bit vain to carve wooden figurines of oneself, isn't it?
Gotta try to avoid spoilers.
If I'm not mistaken, that little red and white one is supposed to be a bird of some kind.
The ink dip. Yeah, the closest thing we have to the ink dip is that Fitz has a figurine potentially of it. It does look a lot like this. Anyway.
There's something about those petals we found in Penny's
Yeah.
room.
Alright, this-
Something.
Let's
This is
ask her
gonna
about
annoy me.
it.
Let's do it. Alright. Well, as I see, some of these clues are relevant to the case. You need to go to the place and do the thing. Yep.
So... Yeah, we found this.
Oh, that's nothing.
You wrote, "Now I'll get her," on a piece of paper and hid it in your room. That's not nothing.
Yeah, why did you do that?
Actually,
What
it's
a weird
not
thing
the
to write
message
on a
I wanted to ask
message.
about. It's those red flower petals.
The petals.
They're from Red Roses.
They're from red roses. And there's only one place in Tangle Tower with red roses.
We need a clue. Something that shows the roses. And who they belong to.
Yeah, okay, I know which clue shows the roses and who they belong to.
It's a drawing of Fitz and Poppy in the rooftop garden. See what Fitz is holding?
I can't imagine what you're getting at, but it doesn't matter. I couldn't have taken anything from the rooftop garden. It's only accessible from Fitz's room or Poppy's room. How could I have taken something from a garden to which I have no access?
Is it really only accessible from those 2 bedrooms?
For most people, it would be. But don't forget, Penny's the resident ornithologist.
And we saw feathers up there.
Dears, what are you accusing me of?
Trained birds! Coral says, I see some of these clues are relevant to the case. You need to go to the place and do the thing. I guess so. Okay. We're not using was used to kill. Was stolen from. Penny's flower? Ah. One of Penny's birds was used to spy on Poppy and Fitz. And distract them?
One of Penny's birds was used to
not
spy
it.
on Poppy and Fitz and distract them. Almost. Maybe just change one thing.
It's this. But I don't know what it was from. Steal evidence from them? Okay, but it's not evidence of the murder.
One
It's evidence of
Penny's
something
birds
else.
Was used to spy
Yeah.
on Poppy and Fitz and steal evidence from them.
Okay.
We know those two have been spending time together in the rooftop garden. I'm guessing you got paranoid. Wanted to know what they were up to.
I'm just not the jealous type. I would never suspect Fitz of anything like that. Besides, Tabitha hardly ever leaves her cage. She's certainly never flown up to the rooftop garden.
We have feathers.
We need a clue to compare with Penny's birds. Something to prove one of them has been in the rooftop garden.
Yeah, we have the feathers. This time I actually know what I'm supposed to be doing, which is nice.
Let's take a closer look.
I think
at
I just
these.
missed some dialogue last time. Alright, you. Was left behind by Penny's yellow bud when it visited the rooftop
This yellow
garden.
feather was left behind by Penny's yellow bird when it visited the rooftop garden.
I can't stand it! Knowing the 2 of them are hidden away up there in their private little garden.
Yeah, she's just
Couldn't risk
jealous.
spying on them myself, so I asked dear Tabitha to do it for me. I knew she'd be able to bring me back some evidence.
Sorry, Penny, but are you not overreacting a little?
Hmm.
Don't understand. Fitz is slipping away from me.
Okay, they do
He's
have
so
relationship
quiet
problems.
with me these days, but being with Poppy seems to bring him out of his shell. I don't know what he sees in her miserable little... I apologize. This really isn't your burden to bear.
Okay. Sierra says, I think overreaction is the only kind of reaction she has. Yeah, I mean, she is very dramatic. There's, like, you can imagine that she would just very quickly do that. I'm supposed to be ending my stream, but we're gonna do a bit more. I have 2 more people to talk to. That's gonna take way too long. Let's do Flora's room and the top tower, and then we'll talk to Pointer and Flora tomorrow. Where is Flora's room? That's not Flora's room, that's Fitz's room. Wait. If only it would label... That's Freya's room. That's Fifi's room. This is Flora's room. Okay. There's a detail that we were missing. We were missing the context of. What was it? What were we looking at? The brush and palette. Poppy says Freya would mix all the colors she would need before starting her painting. The red substance on the palette and the brush was discovered to be blood, not paint. Largest block is block in the middle.
Supposedly, Freya was working on the painting when she was killed. Looks like she was still holding her paintbrush.
Didn't even get a chance to clean her brush.
Yeah. Okay.
Freya's painting supplies.
We didn't have this yet. Small glass pots of red, yellow, blue, black, and white paint. Okay, we could ask everyone about these. The glass pots are all cracked down one side. There's a lot of cracks that have happened in this tower. Like something big smashed or exploded? That's probably what we were
Freya's
missing.
painting supplies.
Yeah. I think this is what we were missing. We didn't have this already. What's the plant in the window? Do we know? Oh, it does look
The
like...
pot plant, balanced on the window ledge.
It's the only plant in the entire room.
We don't know, but it does... You're so right. It looks like... this plant that is related to the ink dip. Okay. Well, we've picked up another clue which we can talk to people about. So that was definitely worth doing. I want to go up here and see if it'll let me open the dang box.
What's in that little box? I bet it's bones. A skull, at least.
You know, maybe I won't open it.
No!
Just dusty junk.
Open the box! They shouldn't put a box if you're not going to open it. Or say what's in it. That's not fair. I'm going to torture point... I should stop my stream. I should stop my stream. But this is really cool. We're going to continue this on Friday. And we have a new thing to ask everyone about. Which is because we'd missed those paints. And I think that's going to be relevant to... We could compare that to Fitz's paints. Why is everything cracked? The cracked tape, the cracked gramophone, the cracked... Yeah. Thank you, game, for telling us that we missed things. Absolutely, yeah. That was a cool pointer that we absolutely all latched onto. Before I go... It's a recording of someone walking outdoors. A distorting, humming melody can be heard. Okay, this is the creepy one. This is not the murder one. This is... The pink one was the one... Plays for a short while. Yeah, when it stops, where, like, it feels like something has happened. Poppy denied it was hers based on the fact that the style is wrong, but we know that this was Poppy's style at some point. So that's not accurate. Phoebe could have been giggling about it because it reminds her of what Poppy's style used to be. For us, it's certainly a far cry from the adventure games of old, when you can miss a single hidden object in the first scene of the game, where you're heavily time limited and not be able to get past a puzzle 7 hours later. Yeah, oh my goodness. Could not be me. Nightmare. Alright. Oops.
Nothing catching my attention.
No. We are going to exit. Whew. That implies it's old, though. It does. This is all very interesting. I don't feel like we know what's going on yet, really. Like, we definitely worked out the Penny jealousy of Poppy and Fitz thing. It seems possible that Fitz and Poppy are not having an affair and are either just friends, or maybe they are into each other but nothing has happened yet. But, like, it's really about Penny's jealousy is what was happening there. Hawkshaw's hired by Pointer to look for a beetle, which does give potential motive for going after Freya. Because Freya was an entomologist. Not necessarily an entomologist, but into bugs. So we've got some stuff to look at that, with that. Yeah. Anyway. Lots to do. Exciting game. I'm having a very good time. For all I get a little frustrated sometimes, I'm genuinely having a good time. It's a really, really good game. Process, I can think of at least 2 games that did exactly that just off the top of my head. Broken Sword and The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Oh, is that text adventure one? I remember trying to play it. It was like on this really old PC as like a teenager, and it like, yeah, I couldn't make much progress in it. Yeah. I don't think I got far in it. It was deeply obtuse. Yes, that was my experience. Anyway, yeah, thank you all for being here. I've had a really good time. I wish you all a lovely rest of the week, and hopefully I'll see some of you again soon. We will be playing more Tangle Tower on Friday. Goodbye, everyone.